What's going on, world? It's your boy at Big Game James _36, and I'm here with Greg McGarity. And this is the Tax Slayer Gator Bowl Drive to Selection Show presented by Toyota, where we go over the landscape of college football each and every week as it relates to the Tax Slayer Gator Bowl played here in Jacksonville, Florida, December 27th, 7:30 p.m.
7:30.
You need to be here live, but if you can't be here, it'll be on ABC on prime time. Again, we need to call this game the springboard to coaching success. As the people who come here, they play well. Yeah. Look at what they do next season. Look at what they've done, all kinds of different things. But each and every week, as it's done for the last few years, college football shows you exactly how unpredictable it is. And that's what makes it exciting and makes it fun as we go over all of these different things. How are you doing, Greg?
Doing great. You're doing great. Ready to get going for week 10. Can you believe it?
It just feels like it just got here. And it just got here. It's almost over. Yeah. Got to enjoy it while we can. Yep. Let's go over last weekend's games a little bit, and then let's just discuss about what were some of the matchups that people should have been aware of.
Well, the Texas-Vandy game kind of started the day off, and Texas withstood a furious rally by Vandy, but they still won. And then the next game, Georgia beat Florida, which was expected to happen, but those games are just so close, so close, so close. And then you had other games that really had an impact on things. And, the coaching changes have kind of mixed things up a little bit. You had Kentucky. Neither one of these games affect us. The Kentucky-Auburn game, that was a game that was pretty difficult to watch. Auburn lost. But then you had Oklahoma beating Tennessee on the road, which was a huge game there. On the flip side, you had SMU beating Miami. It sort of knocked Miami out of any chance to be in the ACC championship. And you had out in California, you had Duke winning out there, which was a huge game. I'm sorry, Virginia beating California out there, which is a huge game for Virginia. So Virginia's in the driver's seat for the ACC championship to appear in the ACC championship game.
Right, and Georgia Tech getting upset. Looking like they were going to have one of their best teams. I think it was 1990s the last time they played and won a national championship. A lot of good ball being played, a lot of parity, which with some good name brands. Which all that does is look for us to have a really, really good Tax Slayer Gator Bowl game here between two great SEC and ACC matchups. What about this weekend's slate of games? What are some of the games that we should have circled that the fan base should be looking at and saying, "Hey, this is going to be tough"?
Well, the day starts with Georgia at Mississippi State, and Mississippi State's played everyone close at home. Texas in overtime, Tennessee in overtime, so Georgia can't be looking ahead to that Texas game the following week. You've got A&M at Missouri, which is a huge game for A&M and Missouri. They're both, obviously, A&M's ranked third in the country, and Missouri's in the top 25, so
and they're still trying to play their way into that SEC championship.
Still a lot to go there. Then LSU at Alabama before the season started looked like a huge game. Now, not so much, but it'll really be interesting to see how LSU plays against Alabama at night in Tuscaloosa. SMU's at BC. SMU is coming on strong here at the end. Not really big games. Wake Forest at Virginia. Wake Forest can be dangerous, even though FSU walloped them last weekend. But and who would have thought FSU Clemson would not be on either ESPN or ABC? They're on the ACC network. So two teams that are really kind of struggling, but still, I think that game's going to be really fun to watch.
Yeah, two teams that are scrambling for something. A bowl game. Yep. Outdoor. Well, one team has an outside shot to be able to be in the premium pool, to be able to come here to the Tax Slayer Gator Bowl, which will bring us a good matchup. Yep. Again, still fighting for pride. Like that FSU game really surprised me. Wake Forest is a good ball club. Absolutely. They've been playing, and but Florida State also kind of showed what, if you've seen them practice, what they could be. Same thing with Miami. Like it doesn't, just bizarro world, doesn't make sense. They want to win the big games, but then when they play a game that doesn't matter, they tend to lose. But the things that you could tend to be lost in is the new mathematics that came out this past Tuesday in the college football playoff. Not the elections, but the college football playoff. We have I have absolutely no idea what goes on, but that's why we have Greg McGarity to kind of walk us through this. what are your thoughts on the initial 12-team bracket, and what are some matchups that kind of could shape that? And then we'll go back into talking about how that affects us with the TaxSlayer Gator Bowl.
Well, I don't think there's much dissension in maybe who the top 10 teams are. You look at, I think the one thing that surprised me a little bit was Texas and Oklahoma right on the cusp. Of course, with Virginia, let's assume they're the ACC championship. In the ACC championship game, they're currently ranked 14th. They have to be in the pool, as well as Memphis right now, who's the top team in the group of 5. So if you're not in the top 10, you won't play in the college football playoff unless an ACC team or a group of 5 team is in the top 12. So you've got some natural dropout games, so to speak. Georgia and Texas play next week. You've got Alabama coming down the road. They've got to. They don't have that tough a schedule coming down to the pack. Texas Tech and BYU play this game, so you would think one of those teams would drop out. And as we mentioned, Texas A&M's got that big game at Missouri. But you're going to have some of these games, some of these teams drop out. Some teams work their way in. But it'll certainly set the tone in the beginning. I think Notre Dame's in for sure if they run the table. They've got a big game at Pitt. So if you're not in the top 10 right now, you're not going to make the college football playoff. But that could certainly change. But it certainly, as we'll see in the next slide, it really affects the teams that are in our pool.
One of the things that's different that has been before the conference, the one of the conference champions had to be, I guess, be a home.
Yep. One of the top 4 seeds.
Yeah. And now it looks like it's the SEC Big Ten Challenge.
Right
so,
now. Yeah.
But yeah, that's just something that for people who are wondering why they don't have that going on right there. So moving on. So now we can kind of talk about who's in and who's out. Because, again, all you're going to see is all these projections. They don't know what they're talking about. Who better to figure out how the TaxSlayer Gator Bowl works than the CEO president, Greg McGarity. So what does all of this mean, and what are we looking for?
Well, if you just took the data that we found out on Tuesday night, then this would be our pool. Notre Dame and Virginia would be in the college football playoff. Those 4 SEC teams would play up. So, in essence, the highest win total by the ACC teams would be in our pool. So, right now, let's just project Miami with 10 wins, Georgia Tech with 10, Louisville with 10 or 11, and Duke possibly with 9. I think it's going to take 9 or 10 wins to get in our game on the ACC side. On the SEC side, you've got Orlando, who would have the first pick, so they could pick any one of these teams here. Then it's a matter of the SEC having the best matchups with SEC versus Big 10, Big 12, ACC. So any one of these teams could be in our game. Upsets are going to happen for any of these teams to really be in play for us, because obviously you have to have 6 wins. So that's mathematically impossible for some of these teams. There are possibilities where teams could get to 6 wins, but that's not going to help you in the ACC, because you're going to have 9 or 10 wins, probably 9 or 10 wins to be in our game too. So this will certainly change a degree based on the data that we just saw in the college football playoffs. So this is a fun exercise to go through, but this kind of tells you who's in play in Week 10. There will be a lot of change going on, but this kind of gives you an idea of who's in play.
Now, one of these teams right here, Duke, cannot come
back, and Ole Miss either, but Ole Miss more than likely, if they run the table, they've still got to play Florida in Ole Miss, and then they've got to play at Mississippi State. So they've got some work to do as well.
But as you talked about before, springboard games, Ole Miss played in this game last year. Look where they're at.
Yeah.
Duke played in this game, and they're actually, they still have a chance. You never know. They continue to win. In the matter, they got some big games coming up. So all that is an argument for when they expand to maybe include
And even though
Jacksonville.
Clemson's struggling this year, the year after they played in our
they
game,
were in the college football.
They were in the college football
and they won the
playoff.
ACC. So.
Notre Dame, look what they've done since they played in the TaxSlayer Gator Bowl. So a lot of good things happen for teams that either play, especially if they win the game. It just provides an extra springboard, getting them ready for next year, which really, or what bowls at our level are all about. They're getting ready, put a bow on this season, but really preparing for the following season.
Speaking about springboarding, playing in the Gator Bowl, and being able to be something that launches you here. We do something really, really cool with the TaxSlayer Gator Bowl. It's called the Little Gator Bowl, right?
That's right.
We had that this weekend where for the city championships, where Jacksonville is one of the hotbeds of recruiting.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the best talent in the nation that's also in the past and the present as well as the future participate in this game, and they come out of this area. I was able to be on the sidelines there to be able to help award people their rings, but also cheer on one of the associations and my son's 13U team. They didn't get a chance to play, but they got a chance to be recognized. Yeah. What does this game mean to the Gator Bowl, and what do you think it means to the community, and why is it important that we do this as a part of the Gator Bowl?
Well, it's one of the many charitable efforts that we sponsor every year, but this one's special because it's been in play for so long. But, you know, starting from sun up to sundown, the very first game was 8:30 with a group of 6-year-olds, which is really fun to watch. They had a double overtime win in the first game. So a lot of competitive efforts there. I think the highlight for some of these young boys is being able to just be in a locker room to where Georgia or Florida were in the day before. But great games all around. Pop Warner does a great job in sponsoring this, and certainly we're great to partner with them. But as you said, a lot of happy faces. There were 5 really, really happy teams that got a ring, and there were 5 teams that came out on the wrong end, but still had the opportunity to play in Everbank Stadium, which certainly had to be a highlight for those young people.
Very good highlight. I was able to go there again and participate, wore my green jacket, saw lots of other green jacket members there supporting the kids, handing out rings. I had to go talk to the referees a little bit. I've got a chance to know some of those referees through coaching high school as well as Pop Warner. I told him if he doesn't act right, I'll kick him out. The green jacket means more than the yellow flag at this point right now. But tons of great things that you should be able to participate in if you are a part of the TaxSlayer Gator Bowl, to be able to cheer on the next generation, as well as when the game comes. Make sure you pay attention to the member benefits. As a guy who has participated in the TaxSlayer Gator Bowl, this was my first introduction to Jacksonville, Florida. So a lot of future employees, a lot of future businessmen will come here, and this is their first opportunity to be able to participate in what makes this community great. So just remember, you're a big part of that, as well as making sure you watch this and share this with people as me and Greg McGarity bring you the landscape of college football as it affects the TaxSlayer Gator Bowl, played here on December 27th, 7:30 p.m. on ABC. This is the TaxSlayer Gator Bowl Drive to Selection Show presented by Toyota. We will see you guys next time.